A sharp splat jolted me from my thoughts. Startled, I turned toward the noise, only to see a dumpling smeared across my mom's cheek. She sat poised across from me, her composure unshaken, but her expression betrayed a flicker of disgust. Somewhere nearby, a snide voice muttered, "Old folks should stay away." My mom, ever the dignified one, wiped her cheek with a napkin, holding herself together even as the insult hung in the air. "You're Sarah Murphy, right? The one who handles foreign currency deposits at New York Bank?" someone asked, their tone dripping with mockery. "Yes, that's me," my mom replied with measured calm. "Funny, you don't seem to have dementia yet, still keeping up part-time work, huh? Will you even remember me tomorrow?" My mom, unfazed, met the jab with a quiet but cutting response. "I'll remember you until tomorrow." Then, rising with grace, she walked away. I hurried after her, my emotions swirling. "Let me introduce myself. My name is Jessica Jones, a 29-year-old office worker. After graduating college, I poured myself into my job, leaving little room for romance until recently. A few months ago, I started dating Charlie, a banker my colleague had introduced me to. Charlie was everything I admired: kind, polite, and dependable. Deep down, I couldn't help but think he might just be the one. But introducing him to my mom? That felt like too big a step. When the day finally came, Charlie stood at the door, visibly nervous but determined. "I'm Charlie," he said, extending a trembling hand with a gift. "I've been dating Jessica for 3 months now. It's a pleasure to meet you." My mom smiled warmly but with her signature wit. "Thank you for your polite greeting. You're a good man, too good for my daughter." Charlie blushed, stammering, "I'm the one who's undeserving. Jessica's the kind one, hardworking too." "Is that so?" my mom teased. She was such a tomboy with short hair as a kid. "Want to see her album?" Before I could protest, Charlie eagerly nodded. "I'd love to." My mom disappeared into the next room, leaving me sputtering. That evening turned out to be delightful, much to my surprise. It became a tradition, Charlie and I visiting her often, sharing meals and laughter. My mom, who had raised me alone after my dad passed away, took to Charlie like a long-lost friend. "Your happiness is my happiness, Jessica," she'd say, her joy shining through. But as happy as these visits made me, I worried I might be pressuring Charlie. Marriage lingered on my mind, but I had no clue how he felt about it. Once, when I visited my mom alone, Charlie was visibly concerned. "You should have told me." "I was worried about her after last time and wanted to talk about the movie she recommended," he admitted. Their bond was growing deeper than I had imagined. Months later, Charlie proposed we take my mom out for Mother's Day. "There's a special place I'd like us to try," he suggested. The restaurant he chose was stunning, a high-end Chinese spot adorned with chandeliers and ornate lanterns. My mom beamed. "I've been here before. Charlie, you have great taste." As dishes were served, their enticing aromas filled the air. It was shaping up to be a perfect evening until a shrill voice broke through the room. Well, look who it is, Sarah." Charlie froze. Turning, I saw a woman standing smugly, arms crossed, her voice laced with venom. "Slumming it now, huh? Settled for a small regional bank, I see. Can you even afford this place?" Charlie's hands trembled as he set down his chopsticks. "That's none of your concern," he said, his voice tight. "Please, don't interrupt our dinner." "Oh, how precious," she sneered, her gaze flickering between us. "Sarah Murphy, former supervisor at New York Bank," she introduced herself, reveling in the prestige of her title. My mom, ever polite, asked, "Oh, New York Bank? That's impressive. Sarah laughed mockingly. Of course, it's impressive. Unlike this poor excuse for a family. Dining with you is beneath me. Charlie's calm shattered. How dare you speak to them that way? His voice, usually steady, quivered with anger. I clenched my fists, anger bubbling within me. This was the woman who had tormented Charlie at his previous job, the mentor who had harassed him, blamed him for mistakes, and driven him to resign. Is this how you justify your cruelty? I snapped. Cruelty? Hardly, Sarah shot back, her voice icy. I simply reported an incompetent employee. You can't blame me for his failures. Her words cut deep, but my mom's serene voice intervened. We'll leave after finishing our meal. Please, return to your table before your food gets cold. Sarah, humiliated, glared before storming off. My mom's grace in the face of such disdain amazed me. But just as we resumed our meal, a shadow loomed over us. Society, what a twisted word sometimes. One moment, we were enjoying a meal, and the next, splat. The sound of something wet hitting skin made me turn instinctively. There it was, a smashed dumpling stuck to my mom's cheek. The audacity! Old hags and poor folks should stay away, someone jeered from across the room. How could anyone be so vile? Fury boiled inside me. Hey! How terrible! How could you do that? I shouted, rushing to my mom's side. Are you okay, Mom? I'm so sorry. Charlie, equally horrified, was about to call the restaurant staff, but my mom stopped him, her voice steady yet tinged with disappointment. It's not right to throw food, especially something so hot. She dabbed her cheek with a napkin, her calm composure masking her disgust. Sarah laughed, loud and unapologetic. The sight of her mocking smile was unbearable. My mom, however, stood tall and firm. Let's leave, she said. This meal is ruined anyway. Before walking out, my mom's gaze locked on Sarah. You're Sarah Murphy from New York Bank, handling foreign currency deposits, correct? Caught off guard, Sarah hesitated. That's correct. My mom's expression hardened. It seems you don't have to worry about dementia just yet. Keep up the part-time work. I'll remember you well, until tomorrow. With that, she turned and left, her cheek red but her dignity intact. We decided to stop by the doctor for treatment on the way home. Charlie couldn't stop apologizing, but Mom, ever gracious, smiled and said, "It's not your fault, Charlie. No need to apologize anymore." Yet, I couldn't shake the curiosity sparked by her words. What did she mean by tomorrow? The answer came sooner than I expected. The next day, during my lunch break, Charlie called, a rarity. His voice trembled with panic. Who the hell is your mom? What are you talking about? I asked, confused. He stammered, I got a strange call this morning, something about business. And now my seniors already know about it. Not knowing what else to do, I decided to listen to his story after work. Together, we headed to my mom's house, determined to get to the bottom of things. When we arrived, she greeted us warmly. Hi, Jessica. Charlie. Craving my baked potatoes again? Charlie managed a smile. I'd love some, but no, that's not why we're here. Did you call my bank expressing interest in doing business? Tying her apron, Mom flashed a mischievous smile. That's right. I'd like to do business with your bank from now on, my dear banker. Charlie looked like he'd seen a ghost. What business? Before she could respond, the doorbell rang. My mom opened the door, revealing an older man followed by a smaller, hunched-over figure, Sarah. The older man, sweating profusely and holding a luxurious gift, was none other than the president of New York Bank. "We're here regarding the sudden account closure," he began nervously. "I've decided never to do business with your bank again," Mom stated, her tone sharp and unyielding. The president's face paled. "Please, let us know if there's anything we can do. We earnestly request you reconsider canceling the $150 million deposit." Charlie's jaw dropped. "So, the phone call I got this morning wasn't a lie," he murmured. The president turned to Sarah. "Did you say something to this woman? Do you even realize who she is? She's Carol Jones, one of the top 3 investors in the USA." Sarah's complexion turned ashen. I didn't mean." Mom cut her off. "You judged me by my appearance, called me lower class, and humiliated me. And now you want me to trust you with my money?" Sarah stammered, her voice breaking. "I'm so sorry." But my mom's expression didn't soften. "No! I will not forgive you. Please ensure my deposit is transferred to the designated bank by the end of the month." Sarah collapsed to her knees, begging, her voice shaking with desperation. Even the president, red-faced and drenched in sweat, joined in the apologies. But Mom stood firm. "If you cannot respect people, you cannot be trusted with their money. That's all there is to it." The fallout was swift. Sarah was fired, her disgrace becoming the talk of the bank. Her web of deceit, affairs, manipulations, and betrayals unraveled, leaving her divorced, in debt, and ostracized. Meanwhile, Mom's deposit safely transferred to Charlie's bank, boosting his reputation. As for us, we returned to the restaurant weeks later, ready to make new memories. Over steaming plates of dumplings, Mom smiled and said, "Relationships, like investments, should be built on trust, not appearances." And with that, peace returned to our lives, at least for now. After everything that had transpired, I couldn't help but marvel at how life could twist and turn in such unpredictable ways. As we sat together in the cozy ambience of the Chinese restaurant, the soft clinking of chopsticks and the gentle hum of conversation around us created a comforting rhythm. My mom's radiant smile reflected her unwavering strength and the lessons she had quietly imparted through her actions, integrity, resilience, and the value of self-respect. Charlie was the perfect gentleman as always, his laughter mingling with mine, and the warmth in his eyes hinted at a deepened connection between us. My mom, too, looked at him with approval, her earlier words about love and trust replaying in my mind. How extraordinary it was to see her, a woman of such wisdom and grace, navigate the storm with unwavering poise while teaching us all something valuable about the dignity we owe ourselves. As the evening wore on, I realized that the true wealth we carried wasn't found in bank accounts or business ventures, it was in the bonds we nurtured, the respect we upheld, and the love we shared. Life had tested us, but here we were, stronger and more united than before. Raising my teacup, I offered a toast to new beginnings, lessons learned, and peaceful days ahead. Charlie and my mom joined in, their smiles mirroring my own. Whatever the future held, I knew we'd face it with grace and resolve, because in this family, love wasn't just a word, it was a promise. And promises, once made, were meant to be kept.